So about 7 hours later, the mother has fed into this particular batch that we're using to make our bread today. And as you can see, it's basically doubled in size, and it's fermenting and it's smelly. And this is a beautiful image of where it actually absorbs in the yeast in its environment. And I always like to try and pay attention at this moment to how am I being formed? What are the things in my environment? What are the things in my family system? What are the things in my work that actually are speaking to how I'm formed and the way I'm thinking? And so it's a really great opportunity once again to pay attention and to attend. And the beautiful thing here is that it's alive. It's this alive, this is what's going to actually nourish us. And we're going to add 600 grams of the sourdough rye flour, and I've got 300 mils of a lukewarm water because we want to keep that bacteria bed sort of happening. So we'll put the water in, and then we'll feed it still weighs the same, which is really curious, but it's doubled in size. So there's about 300 mils here of our starter. And it's sticky and gooey and fermenty and smelly. And then we add in our 600 grams of flour. And we bring it together. Okay, so we've let our dough rest for an hour, so we can take the Glad wrap off, and I'm going to add 12 grams of Himalayan sea salt and a little bit of flour, and I just start to mix that salt in. If you think about it, this is purely flour, water and salt. And once that's mixed together, I'm now entering a process of the kneading stage. And with sourdough, you try and stretch and pound it, and this can help to get those nice sort of air bubbles in your bread. Now, when I do this process, I do try and attend to, God, what are you stretching in me? Or where do I feel like perhaps I'm even being pounded? And it's this very visceral, tactile, quite embodied process of stretching and pounding. Now I need to stay with it, and I need to be present to this next few minutes and just ask God what He might be up to. So after 10 minutes of the stretching and pounding, working up a sweat, I am now ready just to place this beautiful sourdough into a container. And you need to have a clip lock lid, and we seal that. And what will happen now is that over the next 10 hours or so, so perhaps before you go to bed, you can do this part of the process, and it will begin to permeate and it will double in size. So 10 hours later, we literally are lifting the lid on our sourdough that's been proving, and it's doubled in size, this slow ferment that just keeps expanding. And what I'm going to do is just sprinkle some flour on the bench here, and we're going to take our sourdough and get it to a point where we can begin the kneading process. So now that I've got the dough that's been proving out of that container, this next part is shaping. And what we do is we take our beautiful dough and we sort of stretch it out again. And I fold it forward, and then I fold it sideways, and then I fold it sideways again, and it sort of looks like a little blanket. And I'm taking the end and I'm folding it over on itself. So this becomes the top of the dough, and the fold is at the bottom. And I like to use a little bit of rice flour here just to sort of sprinkle it on. And when the sourdough cooks, that rice flour will sort of give it a differentiation on the skin of the bread itself. And then we put it into our little basket here, which is just in a tea towel. And I will put this little guy to rest for a couple of hours before I begin baking.